Welcome back, and it's time to do the front differential on the X3 M40i. It is officially time to wrench on Bring My Wrench channel. So what I'm going to do quickly here is line up all these fluids and parts as I aim to be as organized as possible. Now in this 3, 4, 5 part series, we'll be together doing some driveline services, reason why I bought all these tools and fluids. In this video, we'll be focusing on the front differential, and to get started, we need to first safely jack up the car so it's perfectly leveled. I strongly encourage you to see my previous video called Jacking Up the X3 M40i Isn't As Easy As You Think, or I'll have a link in the description or a pop-up on the top right hand corner of the screen. However, here is a quick summary of how to jack up your X3 in under a minute. To get started, you need your floor jack or trolley jack with some jack stands. Now you can't simply place a jack stand underneath these jack points or else you'll crack them because they're made out of plastic. You'll have to buy these adapters which sit snug in that plastic housing or whatever you want to call it. All you need is a 10mm to assemble them. To jack the X3 from the front, you will have to remove the plastic splash shield first, which is held on by 10 8mm bolts, exposing the subframe with the point to safely lift your X3. Use a hockey puck or a rubber jack pad to avoid damaging anything. For the rear, you have two choices. Either lift from the center of the rear differential as stated by BMW, or use my preferred jack point, which is this V-brace. You will however need a round rubber jack pad to safely lift it from the V-brace. Once the rear is up in the air, get it onto the jack stands, ensuring the X3 is perfectly leveled, and we are ready to do some driveline maintenance. You do not have to remove this part of the splash shield that covers the transmission and the transfer case, but I still removed it since that's next on my list, and it gives you a view of where your front differential is hiding. For left-hand drive cars, that's the driver's side. On X3, irrespective of the trim model, the front differential is decently hard to reach because the subframe is in the way. Unlike the X5, X6, X7, you have very limited access to this front differential. This is the splash shield that covers your oil pan, and to get started, you need to remove several of these 8mm bolts. I'm not gonna bore you with this since this took a fair amount of time of mine. I strongly suggest an impact or some sort of power tools for this part unless you want to spend 20 minutes like I did. And behold, here we have my dirty subframe. I can't tell on the right side if those are oil stains or just years of dirt caked up. Anyway, let's continue to the juicy part. Again, just to explain, approaching the vehicle from the front, this is where your front differential is hiding. There is your drain plug facing the subframe, and the fill plug is located right by the front axle, right up here. For reference, that's under a 2-finger gap for the fill plug. The drain plug, I'd say 3-finger gap. This is a 14mm Allen or hex, whatever you want to call it, drain plug, and I can tell you a socket can't simply fit. I'm hoping you also do not have stubby fingers like I do. There is literally no space. For reference, this is your standard 14mm hex or Allen socket, and as you can visually tell, there is no way for you to fit this socket in. So guess what? We're gonna improvise. And also a very kind reminder, make sure that you undo your fill bolt first, because if you undo your drain bolt and for some reason your fill bolt is stripped or something else happens to it, you are screwed, my friend. At the time of filming and collecting parts for this job, the 14mm drain bolt wrench was unavailable for me to buy. Considering I'm in Canada, getting one from ECS Tuning was costing me over $100 before custom duties, so I decided to make my own drain bolt wrench. I bought a set of extra long reach flex head box wrenches and a spare 14mm hex Allen that I'm going to hammer out. You'll use a hammer to punch out the 14mm hex by placing a 15mm deep socket below it, but sadly my deep socket ain't deep enough. I tried for a solid 30 minutes hammering my way using different punch sizes and surfaces, but nope, wouldn't budge. I was on the verge of giving up until I decided to simply run down to a local shop and they were able to tap the 14mm hex out for me. That too literally 30 minutes before closing. Anyway, this is how you're gonna set this up. You're gonna grab a 14mm box wrench, and I again strongly suggest a flex head long reach box wrench. You're going to insert the 14mm hex bit that you tapped out onto the flex side of the box wrench. You could use some tape to hold it together, but this was something that never crossed my mind after literally sprinting to the shop to have the hex bit tapped out. This will make your life way more easier. Time to break loose these plugs. I'm struggling a little bit because the 14mm hex or Allen bit keeps sliding out. You have to place the box wrench in the center of the hex bit for you to be able to wrench. You can't have the wrench on the far end, as the thickness of the wrench becomes a problem then. I'm really sorry that it's hard to see, but once you're there, you'll understand what I mean. This fill plug seems literally glued in, so just be patient and hopefully you don't struggle as much as I did. Here is a montage time-lapse of me struggling and repositioning myself a lot. The hex bit kept sliding off over and over again, causing a major headache. I apologize for the bad camera angle, as I messed up the left is loose, right is tight part due to all the frustration, but at last I was able to break it loose. Not sure if you were able to hear it break loose, but it definitely took some of my time. I had some interesting choice of words too, but I'm glad it has been muted. So yeah, loosen the fill plug until you can freely turn it by hand. I suggest you don't take it off entirely, as I started to notice some fluid seep out. And now it's time for the drain plug. Again, the struggle was real, as I was unable to get a good angle to wrench. Most importantly, the hex bit just did not want to stay in place. So again, I remind you, find a way to keep this hex bit secured unless you want to experience the same frustrating process as me. The struggle was indeed real. Not sure if you folks were able to hear that, but I was able to break open the drain plug loose. It was indeed a struggle, but hey, at least it's done. Time to grab our catch pan, but before that, we do need a funnel. Because we do not want oil all over the subframe, we're gonna use this flexible funnel. Again, all links in the description. You can also cut open a 500 milliliters water bottle or a smaller water bottle if you don't want to buy this flexible funnel. For me, personally, I believe this is the best and obvious choice, and it's a very handy product that you can use for various fluid changes. I'm hoping you folks realize how filthy this fluid looks. This is nasty, and I was not expecting this. The fluid looks and smells completely burnt. This would explain why I was getting this strange little vibration or shudder, particularly whenever I was going uphill using half the throttle. Even flooring from lower RPMs and low speeds would also cause this little vibration, which would disappear after 3500 RPMs. I always thought it was my transfer case, but I got my transfer case fluid replaced very recently and even inspected properly. It was completely fine. Since I'm doing a voiceover, I can tell you that the shudder vibration I was getting going uphill or flooring it is completely gone. The front end feels smooth, and I can confirm that after putting 1300 kilometers after this service. I do drive my X3 a good amount, so again, don't think your transfer case is bad without actually inspecting the front differential fluid. Even the drain plug was filthy and caked with residue. I believe 80,000 kilometers or 50,000 miles is probably not the right interval for this front differential based on my driving habits. I'm going to decrease it to 30,000 kilometers, same as my transfer case fluid service interval. I believe that's about 20,000 miles, give or take. We're just gonna let this fluid dribble all the way out while enjoying this beautiful hydrophobic effect. I don't know, it looks pretty cool, and we're keeping the subframe nice and clean. This also saves you the headache of using copious amounts of brake cleaner just to clean up your subframe. I also advise that you replace the differential drain fill plug with a new one. There is a gasket inside these differential plugs, and you do torque them down to a decent amount, so I suggest replacing them. These are inexpensive, and the part number is on your screen. I bought 10 of these from FCP Euro, considering these were around $6.50 at the time of purchasing them. And prices are in US dollars. I believe it was around $9 Canadian. For my X3, I decided to use Redline 75W85 GL5. Redline lists this fluid for BMW applications, and it is a synthetic gear oil formulated with an ester-based base stock. I chose it because it is readily available, considerably more cost effective than buying BMW branded fluid, and it meets the requirements of what I am looking for in my application. But don't simply take my word for it. Verify the correct specification of your differential before doing this service. Different BMW differentials can require different fluids even when they look very similar. And this is the fluid extractor pump I purchased from Amazon, and this one here is a 350cc pump. You can also buy a 500cc pump and you'll spend less time extracting and pumping fluid. Comes with a bunch of attachments and a clear flexible hose. Completely optional but strongly recommended. I suggest you buy this Gates U-shaped hose. Part number is 18206. Big thanks to Tony Chumakov for recommending me this U-shaped hose. It was extremely handy for doing my rear differential fluid change, and I'll link that video on the top right hand corner of the screen, because I suggest you do both front and rear differential fluid change at the same time while you're underneath the X3. I'll also link Tony's video on the top right hand corner of the screen, so you can get a fair idea of how the same driveline service can be performed in multiple different ways. Now this is an important part of the video because BMW has used different hypoid axle oils in the G01 chassis X3 depending on the differential type and production date. For the front differential, BMW specifies G2 hypoid axle oil with the viscosity of 75W85 gear oil. BMW later introduced G5, and the G5 specification is also cataloged as 75W85 gear oil. So please choose the right fluids based on your needs, and if you're ever in doubt, always choose the OEM fluid. But always note, OEM will cost you more than an aftermarket alternative. And also, it's not always better. Time to fill this front differential with fresh fluid, and to do that, fill up your fluid extractor pump with fresh fluid, get your new drain and fill plugs gaskets looped up, and try your best not to drop it while you attempt to put the plugs back into their places. My struggle was unreal. I kept dropping the drain plug due to a bad approach angle, as I had the catch pan in the way. There it goes again. Since I was still noticing a couple droplets of the old fluid coming out of the front differential. Also, I wanted my subframe to be spotless, but after trying for 10 minutes straight, I gave up and I decided to remove the flexible drain funnel and use a different approach to put the plug back into place. I'm pretty sure master mechanics of the YouTube Academy can do a far better job than what I did here. At last, I was able to put the new drain plug back into place. Time to torque down the drain bolt, and the torque spec as per BMW is 60 Newton meters for all these drain fill bolts. Since there is no space to put a torque wrench, the torque spec I recommend is good and tighten. It's difficult to over tighten these drain bolts, especially if you're on your back. If you watch my rear differential fluid change video, you'll know exactly what I mean. Time to pump in the new fluid through the fill port, and right now I'm using the flexible hose contraption that I got with my kit. And later, I will switch to the Gates U-shaped hose just because it was way faster to pump fluid. The front differential takes about 700 milliliters, and one bottle of redline fluid is about 946 milliliters. So you'll have a quarter of a bottle, if not slightly more, left after this fluid change. So in a nutshell, if you are doing both the front and the rear differential fluid change, you just need 2 bottles of the redline fluid compared to 4 bottles of the OEM fluid, because they are half the size and twice the cost. Again, OEM doesn't necessarily mean better. Now if you're using the Gates hose, I suggest you watch out for how much fluid you are filling, because after around 650 to 700 milliliters, I felt this odd back pressure and my hose contraption just disconnected itself. The Gates hose was still hanging inside the fill port, but it was letting out a strong stream of fluid. So I had to let that settle down, and then I added just a very tiny bit more using flexible hose that I was using previously until I saw a steady yet light stream. Same thing with the fill plug. It's 60 Newton meters of torque, but I'll be choosing my Good and Tighten spec. And just like that, you are done. Basically all you gotta do now is clean up your mess and you are set. Don't forget to put the splash shield back though. Some folks do put the splash shield back after a few kilometers of driving just to make sure nothing is leaking. Time for me to get started with the most dreaded part of the driveline service, because, spoiler alert, everything you could imagine did indeed go wrong with the transmission fluid change. So yeah, happy wrenching, take care, and see you in that video.